أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين إنه خير ناصر ومعين. Today is 28th of August 2012 and we continue our topic of وَمَنْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَهُ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ, session number 9. Okay, my numbering has become a little bit distorted, never mind. But I decided up to last session was number 8, and this is number 9. So, as I said, nevertheless, all these sessions have got the date order as well. So you go by the date order, that will be fine.
In the last audio, you say session number 6.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned this again.
I think I've added the 2 that we had.
Yeah,
in
Shab those additions made this. Anyway, so as I said, you go by date order. You will be fine. So before I start my topic, I would like to explain one or two things here today. Is because I heard this a little bit of. I know. For all of you, this question most probably is not there, but if there's any question, because I've heard it, sometimes we know something and after doing it for a few months or years, but again that question comes back to us. Why when the moment we hear the name of Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam, we all get up and we all pay that tribute and that respect? And the very simple reason is whenever we call upon someone, whenever we name someone, but that someone is Masum, of course, not someone just in. Whenever we call any of them or we name them, or especially whenever we give them salam, it's very, very obvious they pay back. First of all, if it's salam, they give you an answer of the salam. If it's only calling them, even, that immediately their attention comes to you. Because once your attention goes to them, their attention comes to you as well. And even we hear that from very normal, ordinary people. The like of, Masalan, we have heard that. If you haven't, I tell you, that the like of Marhum Ayatollah Ghazi, who said himself, he said, when he said it at his old ages, he said, when I was younger, anyone started from any place in the world coming towards me, he started coming towards him, he said, immediately I would see him, even if he was thousands of miles away. That was because of his ruh was so light and was so pure and shafaf, if you like. The moment he receives any attention of the soul of any other person, he will immediately realize this and he pays attention back to him. Let alone it is a Masum. When it is a Masum, it's very obvious. The moment we pay attention, he pays attention to us. So if you are sitting here, let's say Aghay Derhami comes in, you all get up, don't we? You all wake up, get up and to pay respect. And so I've just told you, a normal person that you want to respect, and you have some love, affection for him, like Mr. Derhami, that I do. But let alone when it comes to Masum, we all pay that respect because we know he's also paying attention to us at that time. So I thought I give this little bit of explanation, if that has come as any question. If not, anyway, it was a reaffirmation of what we are already doing. Loud salawat, please.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Sadia has a question.
Yes.
I was just wondering, why not the other Muslim?
Because we are lazy, I tell you. No, honestly, this question, very good question. She raised this a very question that I always, the moment the start from the first Imam, it occurs to me, I stand up immediately for the same Imam as well. But one is being lazy. The second is sometimes you feel you will disturb other people. If you are in a place that not everyone does it, that's one thing. there could be another answer to this, but that's very good. That some people do that. Some people do that. But there is another reason that we know Imam, although we know that we have that Ma'sumin alayhi salam are very much more alive than anyone else, because they are not only present physically in the material world, but their soul is present in material world. If you remember, in my first couple of sessions, I sort of proved to you. I gave a lot of reasoning for you to show you how the soul of a mujarrad, of a disengaged, can be present in the material world. You remember that? Do you remember? Said you're very present. I spoke about how the mujarrad or disengaged, someone which is not in material world, have very proper dominance over material world. So nevertheless, yes, that question, the answer to that question is we are either lazy, as well as that, plus that Imam Zaman alayhi salatu salam is the only Imam who's physically also present. But no other Imam is physically present in this world. So inshallah, because of what you said, it made it easier for me now. From next time, from the first Imam, you have to all wake up. From the first Masum, you have to wake up and pay that respect. That was very good, Mr. Adia. Very good suggestion. Okay, now going back to what I was discussing last week. Do you all remember last week topic? Yes, you were present.
I was, yes.
Okay, let me go a little bit further back. Do you remember in one of the sessions I spoke about the power of living in the present time? Do you remember? Do you remember that I said that we all live in the past or in the future? We are hardly ever in the present time. Who did any practice of that? Has anyone done any little practice? You have, Nasir?
I tried, yeah.
You tried?
Yes, but it only lasted like 10 seconds.
No, that's good. 10 seconds is long, I tell you. But I'm still on the 4th second after 25 years. No, that's good. I'm very happy to hear that you have tried it. You wanted to do it. So alhamdulillah, no one has done it. Good. So that's one of those things. I wanted to remind you to that little bit of practicing, a little bit. I mean, even if you cannot wake up in the middle of the night, do it in the daytime. Try to live in the present time. Present for 10 seconds. Live 15 seconds in the present. And forget about any past memory or future dream. And okay, going back to last week now. Last week, do you all feel that you understood the issue? Yes?
Or living in prisons?
No, last week, when I spoke about the relationship of perfect human or insana kamil to the whole world and all of them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did you all understand that relationship? Yes? Okay. So I start from my last 3-4 minutes of last week and then continue to today's topic. If you remember, I gave you this as a very, very good example and notion of how the whole creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is related to Allah, and then how they all have related to Insan Kamil. Or probably I leave this, I don't repeat the same thing. I tell what I want to say today, and then I bring this to the end of it again, so that it re-emphasizes, reiterate the same thing. Let's see why there is need for Insan Kamil. Why there is a need for Insan Kamil? What is wrong with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just created, or creation, whatever He has created? What is the purpose of Insan Kamil? And why do we need to have someone between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we need another creature between us and Allah? That is also one of those questions that comes to mind. I mean, especially from Wahhabism, this question is raised a lot. Wahhabis, they clearly, and they create a lot of course, one of the things about Wahhabis is they have no depths. They are very known for having no depths, and they're just very superficially looking at everything. But I'm not. I mean, my purpose of this talk at all is not to answer that doubt, but whether, regardless of what they say, but this question also relates to our own topic. Is, remember last week I said that how between a fruit of a tree and the seed of that tree, there are so many stages that the seed must take from the seed to become a fruit. And how I told you from the very beginning, it is the soul of the fruit which is raising the seed to different stages, going from the state of seed, and then it takes some time to become root. Then when seed changes to root, it becomes root. It has left the state of seed. And then after that, it takes some time for it to grow into a stem. So now the seed has converted to a stem as well. And the stem also needs to take quite a lot of efforts and time and a lot of process. It takes a lot of process. It's not only time. I mean, all those four elements, main elements of air and water and heat and earth must be combined and converted, right? This is a huge process. And so that from the stem starts to grow out what? Leaves or branches, right? And for that stem to send from that leaves also until it grows to blossom, and the blossom grows to fruit. So this is so much of different stages are involved for a seed to become a fruit. So fruit, this in this example, which is this example of creation of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this alam. You know why the word alam is, why the word alam is given to alam? Alam comes from the root word of ilm, means something which gives you ilm. So from alam we draw ilm, we draw knowledge. So alam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. One of the reasons is to we draw knowledge from it. So in this example of seed that I gave you, and that fruit, the fruit being Insan Kamil. Okay. Now, is it possible for you? Can you imagine you get a seed and immediately that seed becomes a fruit? Is that possible? It is not possible. There must be in between the seed and the fruit all these different stages so that it can gradually convert to a fruit. So what happens basically, this is an issue of sinkhiyat or commonality. We have spoken about it. There must be commonality between things. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with all the high level and status he has, how can he be converted to earth? How can he be converted to all these other things? Unless there is Insan Kamil in between. Because Insan Kamil, one of the names of Insan Kamil is what? Barzakh Kubra. What is Barzakh? Barzakh means whatever is in between is called Barzakh. As a whole, Insan is called Barzakh as well. Barzakh Kubra. But especially Insan Kamil is Barzakh Kubra. Means Insan Kamil is between, from his characteristic and from his attributes, he is just like Allah. Just like Allah means he has got all the attributes of Allah in him. But from the other side, it's like a coin. From top side is looking upward towards Allah, and lower side is looking downside. So that's why it's called barzakh, means it's in between. So, Insan Kamil is a creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you can, is similar to how a seed can reach to a fruit. Insan Kamil is playing that very role. Let me give you an example, another example. I think I have given you that example. When you look at, masalan, you look at, we say, look at meat. When you look at an animal which has got the meat that we eat from, can that animal immediately become human? So look, so much process is involved. You have to kill the animal, you have to cut the meat, you have to cook the meat, then you have to eat the meat, yeah? And then you have to chew it 30, 40 times. And then it has to go through all those digestive system. And the digestive system, it goes through how many processes, God knows. But those who don't have done biology, they know what happens. And until this meat becomes, we go into digestion system and all those, the what do you call it? We say the ruh of it. Not ruh means in spirit, means the juice, the essence of that meat. The essence of that meat, it goes to in your body, and the rest of it all is excretes from the body, right? That juice of it, essence of it, converts your body organ. It becomes part of it. Masalan, your kidney, or part of it, your heart, or all those cells, body cells that are getting changed. So you can say, for instance, I don't know how many days. Masalan, after 1 week, when you eat the meat, after 1 week, partially that meat has become your heart or your liver or this and that. Does it become like that or not, Mr. Beton, Mr. Concrete?
I don't know anything about it.
No, you don't know.
But I wouldn't imagine, like the food that you eat, does that go to the organs or the rest of your skin?
No, it becomes all part of your. No, everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, everywhere it goes to everywhere. So for the food, I'm saying, as you see how much it takes from that animal to convert to become an insan, part of your human body. Look what process is involved. So what I'm trying to say, bringing these examples to tell you, we are not able, we do not have the commonality, we do not have silkhiyat, we do not have the closeness to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So we have to go through this process and towards Insan Kamil to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why Insan Kamil is required? Because Allah is far beyond all His creation. So status-wise, is far beyond His creation. So there is no way that you can reach to Him unless you go through all this process. Of course, the process starts from what I said during all these few last sessions. That process starts that you have all the attributes of Allah in yourself, all generosity, knowledge, you name it, forgiveness, any attribute of Allah that you can think of. They are in you. Good, even you have got khaliqiyat, you have creativity. So we have got, it starts from there that we have got all of those attributes in us, which is attributes of perfect human. And then we strive hard during the whole life by trying to change ourselves from seed, seed means what? Seed means potentiality. We are all full of potentiality. So that we convert to root, and then we convert to stem, and then we convert to leaf, we convert to blossom, and then we convert to fruit. When we reach to fruit, that's when we have reached to Insan Kamil. Right? And that is example, of course. I'm not saying Insan Kamil is fruit. Insan Kamil is fruit of the creation, of course. Not the fruit of these plants that we see outside. So, salawat 2 very loud.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
وعجل فرجه. So in general, our topic involves, the whole topic involves Man arafa nafsa faqad arafa rabba, means what?
Whoever knows himself knows God.
God, okay? And then we also said it can mean that whoever knows the insan kamil knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That nafsa can also refers to nafs insan kamil. So we have the study of 3-4 type of studies we are doing. 3 or 4 type of things we have to know. 1, we are getting to know nafs or self. 2, we are going to learn about insan kamil, a perfect human, right? 3, we are going to learn how from a nafs can reach to insan kamil, right? And during this also we should learn, if our our topic continues, important and very important and practical side of it is we have to understand and learn what are in Arabic and Farsi we call it mawani. Mawani means obstacles. What are obstacles to reach to insan kamil? Even for us, I'm not talking about obstacles for a non-mu'min. I'm not talking about the obstacles of kuffar. Obstacles of Shias, obstacles of lovers of Imam alayhi salam. What does stop us to reach the insan kamil? Right? Inshallah, I just named that title, but as I said, we try either during this series or after that we talk about that. That is the biggest problem of us is what is called religious secularism. You understand? Everyone knows what is secularism? Secularism. S-E-C-U.
Is it come from sect?
No, secularism is the...
No, like you say religion just taking it
No,
for...
secluding themselves.
No, secularism is a term used for non-religiousness. Maslan, they say this is a secular state. New Zealand is a secular state. Sorry?
It's a contradicting word of religion.
No, I called it religious secularism. So, I will explain. I should explain.
That's why everybody was confused.
Okay, all right. Secular means non-religious, something which has nothing to do with religion. It's called secular. It's a term is very much used especially in these days in political arena, when they say Iran is a religious state, and most of the countries are secular states. India is a secular state. So the problem of us, that we think we are very good people, I'm not saying we are bad, but we also think we are too good people, is religious secularism. Means we follow a secular life, but we also are religious too. Means, I've said, maybe not use exactly the same term, but when I was thinking yesterday, it occurred to me that how secular I live and how I put the name of religious on myself. Then I thought, yes, I am a religious secular. So religious secular is a person whose life, when I say life, now doesn't mean that I don't do salat. It doesn't do I don't fast. I fast, I do salat, and I do all of this. But I do all of this because I want to reach to all those good things that I deprive myself here to reach to it in heaven. Right?
You said, or you were saying, we live and then we are religious. It's
Yeah.
different to how we live.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's the same thing. Yes, I've said we want to have a good life and be religious. Whereas it's different to we want to be religious and to have a good life. They're two different notions. Okay? So anyway, so I was saying that we have to also address this issue of what are mawani and obstructions of us in reaching to insan kamil. And I said one of the main, which is very global title of the reasons, is this is for religious people. This obstruction or this problem is not for non-religious people. It's for very much all of us is religious secularism. Nevertheless, let me tell you about now, going back to the issue of Insan Kamil. Let me talk to you about Wajh. Have you heard the name Wajh? Wajhullah.
Face.
Yeah. What does Wajh mean?
Face.
Face. And why the face is called Wajh? The root of the word Wajh, although it means face, but why is it referred to this part? Everything, if you look at the root of it, everything is known from its Wajh. No. Everything is known from its Wajh. You understand the word Wajh, right? In Arabic you say surat, this Wajh. Yes, no, sir? Huh? Masalan, I tell you, if a person's picture is taken from everywhere, anywhere, from back, from shoulder, from foot, from chest, from anywhere, still you don't recognize that person. You recognize people only from the Wajh of them. So the sign of the very thing that give recognition to anything is the Wajh of that thing. Right? What is in the Wajh? Now let's look at your face. All the perceptive tools are in your Wajh. You hear, you see, you can touch as well, you smell, and you taste. So what are these 5 things? What are these 5 perceptive tools? The 5 perceptive tools is what makes you understand higher things, right? And especially when it comes to your mind, your brain, which is still in your Wajh. That's what with which, of course, these 5 things where I said was only the sensual idrak, sensual perceptions. But the intellectual perception, intellectual understanding is also in your surat. Correct? Yes, Suhail? Suhail is deeply thinking. Deeply thinking. No, now look at your face. So unless, Wajh is a very important thing. I want to first highlight the importance of Wajh. So all those,
5 senses.
sorry?
5 senses.
All the 5 senses and all those things with which you understand. You are different from a sand. You are different from a plant. Yeah? It's your Wajh. Even when it comes to animal, an animal also, if it's not shown from his Wajh, is not known what it is. But again, the same in the same Wajh of surat of animal, the same thing exists. Up to khiyal, up to level of imagination is in this side of animal. But for us, we also have here, inshallah we do, what is inside of it, something which which is our mind, which are our thought, and or actualization. Sorry. Salawat. Muhammad wa al Muhammad. Our intellectualization tool. The tool with which we intellectualize the world around us is in our Wajh as well. So Wajh is the most important part of a shay'a. Shay means what? Everything. In Arabic, whatever is called, when we say shay means everything, even animal, plant, sand, everything is called Wajh. So now, what is the Wajh of water? With this definition, Wajh of water.
Wetness. Liquidity.
Liquidity and wetness, yes. What is the Wajh of fire?
Heat.
Right, Aslan. What is the Wajh, Sohail, of a cucumber?
Taste.
What?
It's
Taste.
appearance.
Yeah, that's that very taste which makes it cucumber, and it doesn't taste like banana, right? Yeah, exactly. So,
What is the Wajh of tea?
tea.
You should ask Brother Seyed.
So he knows the vatch of tea very well. He knows hundreds of thousands of wujuh of tea because he's in tea business.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Imam Ali alayhi salam once was asked exactly about Wajhullah. What about vatch? But the context was vatch of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam asked the person who asked this question, make a fire. So they went and brought some wood and thing and put together. They made a fire. Then he said, go to the heat. Go inside of it. Approach it. They went from this side. They said, we can't. Go from the other side. They couldn't. Go from the other side. Go from the other side. Of course, the example of Imam Ali alayhi salam for this issue was to show from everywhere you want to approach the fire, you cannot. That's the vatch of fire. Because that was in fact, it is the heat which is the vatch of the fire. And from anywhere you go around, heat stops you. So he meant to say, the context was to say, anything in the whole creation of Allah, when you look at anything is Wajhullah. You look at tree is Wajhullah. When you look at the whole creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everywhere it is Wajhullah. Right? So, a vatch of everything is what the essence of that thing is known. Now, relate to this verse of Du'a Nodbe. What does it do? Who remembers that part of Du'a Nodbe which talks about vatch? I can't remember, I'm asking you. You remember?
No, I'm remembering, but maybe I make a mistake.
It's three loud salawat so that he remembers. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You remember it?
Works.
Okay.
أين وجه الله الذي يتوجه الأولياء.
Ahsan. Aina wajhullah allazi yatawajjahu al-awliya. Where is? Aina means where. Where is that vatch of Allah yatawajjahu al-awliya? Where is that vatch of Allah that everyone pays attention to? Not everyone. All awliyaullah. That's a very interesting thing. That is, it doesn't say everyone. It says wajhullah allazi yatawajjahu alayhi awliya. Oh, only those people close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pay attention and tawajjuh to that person. Who is that? Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam. So when we say Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam is Wajhullah, we are saying Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is what? Imam alayhi salam is Wajhullah means two salawat for kashif to disturb me. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajah. So, when Imam alayhi salam is called Wajhullah, that means he has all those things that God is known to be God for is with Imam Zaman alayhi salam. What did we say? We say, when we say, what is vatch of water? That very thing that makes water is the vatch of water. Being liquidity, wetness, or whatever you want to name it. What is the vatch of fire? What is it? Heat. Does fire have anything else other than heat? Of course it has got monoxide, carbon monoxide as well, but is that important? Is that part of being fire? No. What makes fire? Fire is that very heat. What makes water? Water is that very wetness. Yes, Muhammad? And what makes cucumber is that very taste or characteristic which is particular about cucumber. Right? So what makes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah is Wajhullah. And Imam Zaman alayhi salam is Wajhullah. Correct? So, it's very important that we understand when we say Ma'asumin alayhi salam or Insan Kamil is Wajhullah, what are we saying? We are not saying, if you do not, I mean, people, we tend to, most of us, a lot of us Muslims, we tend to say a lot of things which we don't even understand what they mean. We don't even want to understand, right? When we say, masalan, when we in Quran, Lillahil masalul a'la. For Allah are great examples for Allah. What are those great examples? Nasr Agha. What is the closest example to Allah? Ma'asumin, of course. Lillahil masalul a'la. Or we say, again in Quran, it says, Lillahil asma'ul husna fad'uhu biha. Right? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are great names, call him by those names. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Wallah nahnu asma'ul husna. He says, Wallah, we are those good names that Allah has said in Quran. Fad'uhu biha means call Allah through us. Okay?